Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to all out there. Welcome back to the Road to NBA 2K22 series on the PlayStation 5. So happy to be back for a new 2K game with you guys on the channel. Got a little Thanksgiving jazz in the background, and we're finally ready to tip off Season 6 against Boston in the Garden. These 2 weeks for me have been pretty crazy. I got really sick and then I've been doing some traveling for the holidays. But it's safe to say that I'm back and uploads will be coming back once again a lot quicker this time around, so don't worry about that. A lot has changed in New York since last episode. As we recapped, in the previous installment, we added Jahlil Okafor, my roommate from my rookie year on New Orleans. He's on the team. Eric Paschall also comes to New York for front court depth. Mitchell Drew is now sporting the blue and orange, my former college teammate, who's battled a lot of injuries and adversity in his career. He received a tryout with the Knicks and made the G League affiliate in Westchester, as he finally tries to crack an NBA roster. But the biggest headline of all was Donovan Gray not signing an extension in Portland, and after Farhan and Donnie and myself took an overseas trip to Farhan's native country, Pakistan, for a vacation last episode, the two-time Defensive Player of the Year returns home as well to form a big three in the Big Apple. Obviously, some caveats came with that signing. Julius Randle's now out west in Golden State, and Mitchell Robinson joined the defending champs, the Mavericks. And Donovan was not the only Portland superstar to come to New York throughout the offseason. Damian Lillard, my biggest rival in my NBA career, he basically takes James Harden's spot and forms a big three of his own with Durant and Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. So those crosstown rivalry games this season will have NBA fans in all areas tuned in. In the middle of all these storylines, however, one starts to gain some traction on social media, and Tom Thibodeau, our coach, called me, Farhan, and Donovan into his office to discuss a trending topic for Adam Silver and the NBA higher-ups. Allegedly, Adam Silver was not very happy with that vacation us three took. He was informed of the overseas trip taken by us three, and an investigation will begin on the New York Knicks to figure out if me and Farhan coerced Donnie's free agency decision, and this could lead to tampering charges for us and the Knicks organization. The rules state you cannot go in the middle of the offseason and talk one-on-one with another player to try to coerce their free agency decision. But we never did any of that. We just wanted to take some time away with Donovan, our good buddy, while Deshaun was doing his championship celebration down in Dallas. Well, we're gonna have to put these rumors on the back burner and it's not in our hands anymore. So we're gonna have to focus on getting this win against Boston to open up our season 1-0 and make sure Donnie's debut back here in the Big Apple is one to remember.
Now, please welcome your New York Knicks.
In this graph world, colors express moves, finesse tools, best from a sketch, technique to bend the rules. As a team, fiend for dreams and culture. Age 12, Jersey had to learn from my sofa. Watch Star Wars on my screen, it was over. Didn't bother train till I was a little older. Only in my books, Pop saw through it all. What you trying to do, get arrested for a wall? So grandma, hit me with the airbrush, shirt king. Got my practice on, mad long, still thirsting. Watch from afar, skill draw character. Ill palette through pencils and Marcus Win manager. Incorporated in my art, tagged heavily. Been a mad tame, recorded a certain melody. Recognized from a time we were vandals. Local trains and destroyers and buses was dismantled. I paint pictures on surfaces. Cats want to work with this. Next level embedded veteran with the purple piff. I balance talent with gift. Practice showing the real, honing the skill.
Season 6 has arrived, everybody. I hope it was worth the wait. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Trying to put that devastating loss in the playoffs to the Miami Heat in the rearview mirror. But it's going to be hard. As you see here pregame, David Aldridge talking about the allegations against the Knicks franchise, and me, Donovan, and Farhan. We could be facing suspension just as quickly as us three teamed up here. But we have to put that on the back burner for now. We have to open up Season 6 with a win against the Boston Celtics here at MSG. Obi Toppin, first time he's starting with the departure of Mitch and Julius Randle. He wins the tip, and Cade Cunningham will control the rock on the first possession for the Knicks. Working off a screen by Donovan, and the reigning Rookie of the Year will open up with a bucket on the new season. Cade Cunningham, some ups and downs in his rookie campaign, as here comes Jaylen Brown off the mark. Donovan tips the rebound out, and I try to go headlong to save that. No matter how far I get into my NBA career, no matter how old I get, Hustle is always one of my top priorities, and I'm already beginning this new season with a bolt of energy. Couldn't save the play though, so we'll see if we can get the stop. 10 seconds left. It'll be Jason Tatum, who was second in the NBA in scoring last season, almost an assist to Kemba, no good. Cade Cunningham, outlet to me, deadly behind the back. I have some green surrounding me, so I find Donovan Gray for his first New York Knicks bucket. Man, what a one to remember as well. A little step back move, creating some space and creating the angle to get the pass inside to Donnie G with the flush to complete the sequence. So 5-4 Boston. Now we see Ferran working with the ball in his hands. He's taking on 2 defenders. As he steps it back, works baseline, and a deadly hesitation move will make Jason Tatum look silly. Man, with all this young talent on this Knicks roster, there's no excuse why we shouldn't be having highlight play after highlight play this season. New York is buzzing about these New York Knicks. Cade Cunningham going one-on-one against Jaylen Brown. It's a tough matchup. I keep working off the ball, wide open, and that one's a green light. My first bucket on the new NBA 2K installment, 2K22. Here we come, baby. As Kemba Walker, he got caught ball watching, so I took advantage. Now Dennis Schroeder checks in, and me and Donnie with the trap. We're off to the races here, as this one is rejected though by Robert Williams. Okay, Williams was a tough guy to handle last year in the playoffs. He averaged over 14 rebounds in that 4-game series. As I check out for the rest of the first quarter, checking back in here in the second, now down by 1 as Boston, they trim the gap and take the lead. Kemba checks back in. The starters back out there for the Knicks, with the exception of Donnie G getting some rest, as Jahlil Okafor will record his first minutes in New York as Ferran takes it away. How about this behind the back pass? Down the lane, and I come up short. Too much mustard on the layup. How could I blow this highlight opportunity? Ferran with a little razzle and dazzle, styling and profiling, as my man Walt Frazier would say. But there was a little bit of contact, but I still have to finish that one. And that's kind of how it's been here through the first quarter and a half. Kemba open. This one's off. Playing good defense on him, but that's about all I'm doing right now. Beginning this game 1 for 4 shooting, only 1 assist so far, and 2 turnovers. I know it seemed like I was doing pretty well at the start, but now I'm starting to come up a little cold as this one is handed off to Ferran, and I let him work his magic. Ferran with the slam cam, AT&T 5G. Love the slow-mo clips here in the new 2K game. That one looked very beautiful. That was poetry in motion right there. So I grab a rebound there. I'm still trying to make a dent on the stat sheet as Ferran, the primary backdoor option on the play, not available. So I stop in my tracks there. Love that move on Jason Tatum. There's my second field goal. Jason Tatum had his shoulders turned and was playing me a little bit too tight, so I hit the brakes and he fell too far. Too much space for me to make that 15-footer. So now up by a basket, and I'm trying to get past Al Horford here pretty much the entire possession, and eventually I would get a foul call. A little bit of a bailout call, I'll admit. Horford was playing me tough there, as the entire Celtics team has been playing me pretty tough. I haven't mustered much room to dribble, pass, and shoot, but at least I'll knock down 2 free throws here to get a little bit more of easy looks under my belt, you could say. So now up by 4, 10 seconds left to go on this possession. Jason Tatum switches on to me, hop step through the lane, dish off inside, Jahlil Okafor, and 1. And he is excited. And it means a lot to me that I was able to help Jahlil record his first assist, donning the orange and blue. Bang, right on top of Al Horford with the whistle to boot. And what Jahlil Okafor did for me in my rookie year, I was kind of looking up to him a little bit when I first got to New Orleans. We were both 2 guys trying to make a name for ourselves. I was an undrafted 2nd-round pick, and he was what some people would consider a bust, but we both put together productive seasons, and we've been close ever since. So I check out for the rest of the first half of action. Would be leading by 2 as the Celtics continue to make it competitive here on opening night. But perhaps I did a little bit of traveling, perhaps too much in the offseason, as I'm kind of struggling out of the gate, but you could tell Donnie was ready for the change in scenery, huh? 13 points in 15 minutes to get his Knicks tenure rolling, still without a missed field goal from the field. Quickly is trying to build off his impressive playoff run last season with 9 bench points on opening night. Cade also added 9, as I sit at 6 and 2 assists, and I gotta give the C's credit. I played like a superstar in the playoffs against them last year, but this time around, they're using their entire team to guard me. They're not playing me one-on-one anymore. So a lot of credit to their defense, and I gotta adjust. Ferran has also been a little quiet. He only has 4 points on 5 shot attempts, so they're playing him tough as well. As we check back in here in the second half of action, Horford from mid-range, as that'll tie things up here. Horford with his second field goal of the night, 54 apiece. As we begin our first possession of the second half, a double high screen, Toppin flashes, but then Donovan rolls and I find him for my 3rd assist. Finally, man, I've had so many passes deflected out of bounds. I've got 2 turnovers at the half, but an assist is finally recorded. So now in this possession, Donovan will pop instead of roll, but then Jaylen Brown plays that perfectly, and that's my 3rd turnover. That's basically been a microcosm of this entire night so far. Brown, once again, he's giving me a lot of anguish here on the offensive side of the floor, towing in as this one's rotated around to Cade Cunningham at the end of the shot clock, and the sophomore will find Obi Toppin. Let's go! Toppin in his 3rd NBA season. Cade Cunningham in his 2nd. The Young Guns hook up there at the end of the shot clock. Man, you love to see it. Toppin getting Madison Square Garden up on his feet. He was on the bench for 2 years, one without me on the roster, one with me on the roster. But now Toppin steps in as our new starting 5 here in season 6, as that one just rims out for Tatum. I grab rebound number 3, starting the break, 10 feet out. There's Donnie G, who continues to be sizzling in his Knicks debut game. 17 points. And stay with me, guys, without a missed shot from the field. It's been awesome to see Donovan putting in this effort on both sides of the floor, and he's also been containing Jason Tatum. So Donovan, all as advertised. I'm trying to perhaps feed him on the post. No, it looks like I want the isolation on Al Horford. This time it goes a lot more seamless for me on the take. There's 8 points, but I'm only making 1/3 of my shots. That's got to turn around. But we're starting to find some momentum, if you will, as then Donovan, as we already sport a 8-point lead, he then rejects Tatum to further drop his shooting percentage on opening night. And we gave a lot of grip to Tatum last year as well in the playoffs, and he continues to struggle against the Knicks. So, heading into the 4th quarter, Boston now trailing by 5 points. Ferran, he hasn't had a lot of touches tonight. He'll give this one back to me. Donovan rolls, but this time Tatum plays it perfectly. Step back shot, this one's tough, but it tickles the twine. So, I'm in the double figures. 10 points, now 4 of 10 from the floor. It's a respectable night, but obviously this is not what I wanted to put together in my debut game with Donnie G, with Ferran also playing tonight. So on this possession, good team defense there by Toppin and myself covering Marcus Smart, and I find some open space to knock down the 3. Last season was my best statistical season when it comes to shooting threes. I took less than 2 threes a game, but I made 35% of them. That's pretty serviceable, especially coming from where I originally came from 3, as this time I faked the 3, ride the baseline, and this one's another jump shot. A quick 5 points in the first 3 minutes of the 4th quarter. And I've been doing an even better job of putting that tough shooting performance in the first half behind me and coming out and making some shots here in the second half. I'm almost up to 50%, 5 of 11 on the game, and me and Kemba exchanging a few words at the end of that one. I like to trash talk Kemba a little bit, but he's definitely a good friend of mine. We've exchanged some very nice times over this series. He and I did a little charity game back in NBA 2K20 after I tore my MCL after my rookie season, and we had a nice little exchange there. But look at Cade Cunningham finding me back door. Kemba's been struggling in the second half, still without a field goal in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And then Cade found me back door, veteran move for myself, beating Walker and doing him dirty on a face cut. But it wouldn't take long for Boston to make a couple of shots. We had our biggest lead of the game at 12 after that backdoor feed from Cade, but then now they have it back down to 4 with 5 minutes to go. Come on, we're coming off a brutal loss to the Heat in the playoffs to end our season, and it was in similar fashion to this. Can we lock down Horford with the tie? Oh my goodness, now 12 unanswered points for Boston to knock things up at 81 apiece. Under 5 to play, and things are getting very interesting all of a sudden, thanks to the Celtics' hot shooting here in the 4th quarter. All right, so offense has gone cold. Defense can't cover anybody. Who are we going to turn to? Let's set things up here. Donovan setting me a screen. Kemba's cheating it, so I give him the cross. Find some space. It's tipped out to Donovan, and that one will be not recorded as an assist, but I do set up Donovan at least. That was a great pass, but unfortunately, Tatum got a hand on it, so it won't go in the stat sheet as an assist. And I can't catch a break with my playmaking tonight, so I'm still at 4 dimes on opening night, but we do get the lead. And Kemba trying to force it here. This one will not fall for him. It's tipped around into the arms of Ferran, finding me. Extra pass down the baseline. Donovan, this one will go as well. Coming out with a little pep in our step since that Tom Thibodeau timeout. Donovan up to 23 in his Knicks debut. So, we still sport a 1-basket lead. Now 3 minutes to go, as this time there is no doubt about it. That is definitely an assist. A Boston player did not get their hands on this one. Donovan making me proud, man. I'm so happy to have him here in New York. And this is going to be a Knicks debut to remember, especially if we can hold on for the win. Well, there we go. We get a huge stop here. Now under 2 minutes to play. We have the lead by 4. And this play will be run through Ferran. He is getting harassed by Kemba, but he wants the screen from Donnie G. Let's see, Gray is popping. He is open. That one is ripped through. Donnie G for 3, and even 30 on the night. 11 fourth quarter points. Welcome to New York, Donnie. He's been putting on a show. And it was a show to behold. Donovan tickles the twine, ending his night 4 for 4 from 3. And take a look at the Madison Square Garden crowd up on their feet. Cade's getting hype. Toppin wants to hear it from the fans. Man, this has just been an awesome night for sure. And these free throws at the end of the game, just a formality for me. I end up shooting 50% on the game, 7 for 14. And that was a far cry from the 3 for 9 start. So I started 3 for 9, ended making 4 out of my last 5 shots to take us home. 94-87 would be the final score as we survived the comeback effort by the C's late in the fourth quarter. 1-0 on the year. New York Knicks, we're back. We're ready for season 6. We are excited as we grind one out here on opening night. What more can you say about Donovan? 30 points in his debut to go along with 17 rebounds. Only 4 missed shots, 3 blocks for the 2-time DPOI winner. Man, I'm just so proud of Donovan, and I cannot wait to see what we have in store. The big 3 in New York. Me, Ferran, Donovan, the sky's the limit. And honestly, this is a performance that I kind of want to let go of. 19 points, had a great second half, finding my rhythm from the field, but only 5 assists. That's really low for me, coming off 2 back-to-back seasons of being the NBA's top assist man, and then 6 turnovers. A lot of deflected passes. Like I said at halftime, the Celtics weren't guarding me one-on-one. They were guarding me as a team, and they were one step ahead of me a lot. And they were really baiting and sitting on my passes. Quickly 11, he was very key tonight. Cade Cunningham struggled in the second half, but he also added 9 boards and 7 assists. I was really surprised because we ended up out-rebounding the C's by 8 on the contest. And a lot of that obviously is attributed to Donovan, but after Robert Williams killed us on the glass last season in the playoffs, I wasn't ready for a performance like that. Ferran was also a little bit quiet, only 6 points for him, but you know Ferran, he's a microwave, he'll turn it around in no time. Jason Tatum, 6 for 18 shooting. I mean, Donovan, what more can you say about him? Marcus Smart was held without a basket, and I did a good job on Kemba Walker. He was kind of invisible. So what do? Well, what do 3 hometown friends do in the greatest city in the world? After a huge win to open up our season, we hit Manhattan, the bright lights, for some dinner, a movie, and a couple of drinks. I gotta say, it's great to have Donovan here. Unfortunately, Deshaun, he seems like he's okay with staying in Dallas. That's alright, we won a championship back in Texas together in our college careers, and that could be a pretty crazy matchup. Us 3 against Dallas and Deshaun, so that's pretty awesome. But as we hop in the Uber to go back to our place, unfortunately, we get some bad news. Our head coach, Tom Tibbs, he sends a text and then calls us in the Uber on the way back. The NBA has finished its investigation, and as you can see, under current injuries, Ferran, myself, and Donovan have been hit with 4-game suspensions, and the Knicks have been fined $250,000 due to tampering. Doesn't matter if we said Donovan come to New York or not, which we didn't. The NBA still doesn't like that trip we took, and they hit us with 4-game suspensions, which means we're gonna miss 2 games against the Magic. It was a home and home, 1 game in New York, 1 game in Orlando. Then we're gonna miss a huge rivalry matchup against the Sixers. You guys know me and Ben Simmons, we've been going way back since he beat me in the finals when I was on the Pelicans. That's gonna be a tough game to miss. And then the final game we'll miss due to suspension is against the Chicago Bulls, who just added DeMar DeRozan to team up with James Harden as they try to make a playoff push. So these are 4 really tough games to miss. They were all pretty exciting matchups, and we'll take a look at the rotation for these up-and-coming games without the big 3 in the lineup. Cade Cunningham moves to point guard for the first time in his virtual career. He's been playing the wing ever since Ferran and myself have gotten here, but for the first time he moves back to his native position, the point, as he tries to lead this squad without us 3. Quickly starts at 2 guard. Reggie Bullock, 3-and-D player, is at the wing. Obi Toppin slides to the 4. Boban will be playing the 5 as Mitchell Drew gets called up from the G League affiliate to become the 6th man. This could be his big break to finally make the team once and for all. Eric Paschall, Jahlil Okafor, Quentin Grimes, Kevin Knox, Deuce McBride, and Jericho Sims will round out the 12-man rotation for Tibbs in these next 4 games. So we're going to find out a lot about the Knicks without me, Ferran, and Donovan in the lineup serving these 4-game suspensions. I wish it didn't have to go down like this. We all pay hefty fines, the Knicks themselves pay a hefty fine, and this is the first time I've ever been suspended in my career. It's a lot to handle. It's a big whirlwind for us. Never thought I'd see myself in this position, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Donnie's still here, and we'll be bouncing back for sure. So I appreciate you guys joining me on opening nights of season 6 of the Road to NBA 2K series. Next time you see me, we're going to see how the Knicks respond with the big 3 not in the lineup. We'll be facing a very familiar team, aka the Pelicans, when I make my return in New Orleans. So that's going to be a great game to make my return against. A lot of adversity still down there. And we're going to be making some noise here. We're going to finally be making a dent in the schedule. A lot upcoming in the Road to NBA 22 series now. So I appreciate you guys coming. Happy holidays, everybody. And stay tuned for that next installment of the Road to NBA 2K. Peace, everybody.